He's our Dick Cavett.
He's our guy.
I'm your
yeah.
MC.
Great. I love this.
All right, we're going live.
Wait, I'll just go away. I'll come back in like 20 minutes like you wanted me to.
Okay.
All right.
Eric.
All right. Wait, hold on. Where's the leave button? Back.
Well, here we are.
Here we are.
Oh, I see it. I got the
our
link.
guy.
Your MC.
Great.
All right, we're going live.
Wait, I'll just
Yeah.
go away. I'll come back in like 20 minutes like you wanted me to.
Okay.
All right.
Eric.
All right. Wait, hold on. Where's the leave button? Back.
Hold on a second.
Well, there's a weird echo.
Well, here we are.
Here we are.
Oh, I see it. I got the
Your
link.
MC.
Great.
All right, we're going live.
Wait, I'll just go away. I'll come back in like 20 minutes like you wanted me to.
Okay. I'm having the delay again.
All right.
Who has an echo? Is that me?
Hold on.
I think we all have
Well, there's a
echoes.
weird echo.
Wait.
Well, here we are.
Here we are.
Oh, I see it. I got. Hello.
That sounded
Hello.
like industrial music.
Like Jason
Uh,
car music.
Are we all here? Should we get started?
Yeah, I'm concerned that we have a big audio problem, but we'll see.
Can
Well,
people
you know.
hear us? Hey, people, can you hear us?
They're on a little bit of a delay, of course.
Yes, right.
Oh,
Hello.
let me-
Hello, everybody.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
I'm
So I'm
still putting
trying
on
to
my face.
Try to look at
Yeah,
the
let's give
chat.
everyone a second to catch up here. All right.
It was a rough put down tonight with a little rhubarb pie.
Oh, yeah?
Wow. Sometimes they just don't want to give up on the day.
Hey, people can hear us.
It's true.
This is fantastic.
Nice.
Ah, okay. I'm seeing the live.
It's sort
The
of
live
working.
delay.
Yeah, you got to turn
Well-
your volume down on YouTube, so you're only hearing Zoom.
Great.
Bear with
Well-
us while we
we're
I'm ever doing anything.
we're still a minute early. We're still working it out.
Who I feel like we should elect someone to be our like chat box watcher.
I have it open.
Okay.
Okay, you do good because I can't see it. So I'm
It's
just
mostly
gonna
people-
read, and if there's any other questions that come through that I can't see, if you can just ask them to yourself, I suppose. Well, hello. Well, welcome everyone. I'm so excited to be able to do this. I'm Gordon Merrick. I'm here with the illustrious, the luminous, the wonderful Freezepop to help them introduce one more wonderful song and a good video to boot, which many of you watched earlier at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I thought it'd be a really good thing to maybe get going here with having everyone, say hey. So say hey.
I'm Sean Drinkwater. My hobbies include electronic music synthesizers and science fiction collectibles.
I'm Liz Enthusiasm. Behind me, you see the Freezepop warehouse, and also our puppy hanging out in there.
I'm Christmas.
Oh, no.
No, you got
Oh,
that.
we didn't plan this out. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was all on purpose. I'm Christmas Disco Marie Sagan. Just happy to be here.
Nice.
My child
Nice.
fell asleep about 6 minutes ago, so I'm a little I'm still adjusting, guys. Bear with me.
Christmas is a little frazzled at this holiday season.
No, I love this holiday season.
I know
I'm
you
not
do.
frazzled. I'm just coming down.
She's not
from
named
the
Christmas
day.
for nothing, you guys. She's not named Christmas for nothing.
I'm reverse frazzled right now.
I'm Bananas Foster, and now I feel dumb because Christmas has a lot of trees in her screen, and I don't. I should have bananas everywhere, but I'm also a member of Freezepop.
Why don't you tell us something about you, Robert John Bananas Foster? Tell us a little bit about you. What are you?
I don't know. Not much interesting has happened.
Not much interesting's happened to Robert John in the last couple of weeks.
I also made a tiny human. He's about 10 days old. He may make a cameo. He's still awake. So
Oh,
we'll
you
see.
should. That would be great.
Yay.
Sorry.
Maybe we can have people vote on a Freezepop name for him.
Oh, that's
Great
a good
idea.
Is that Sarajevo? What is your background?
Oh yes, this is the 1984 Winter Olympics logo.
Oh, it's Yeah.
which was, I think I put up because we were admiring Michael's mirror, and I was like, that reminds me of the '84 Olympics logo.
That's right. That's right.
It's a deco.
That's
Yeah, now I
right.
just keep it because it makes me look like Snoke or something weird like that.
Wasn't that when the Winter and Summer Olympics were the same year?
Yes, they didn't change that till '92.
That sounds right. This is off to a great start.
Yeah, if anybody has any other questions about the Winter Olympics,
This
the
is
place to get them in.
startlingly exactly like hanging out with us. Actually, it's just
Yeah,
everything's
wow.
completely
This is good.
tangential.
We just fell back into it. It was so easy.
All right, let's put on some Steely Dan and talk about the Olympics.
Ice cream face. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Ichabod Screamface. I play the electronic drums and I eat a lot of ice cream. And I really want a Simmons SDSV for Christmas.
Ooh.
Ooh, getting
Good to
serious.
have
An
goals.
Amazon wish list, Ichabod.
Yeah.
Ichabod's been hanging. It's funny. We were. I don't even really know how this happened. I think we just noticed there was this guy hanging around. He had this beautiful leather cape, and he was always nodding his head. And he was just at rehearsals, and suddenly he was playing on stage with us. It just kind of happened. Who knows?
First he was like behind the walls, and that was a little weird.
Bob
But then he started to like peek out of the door. We were like, oh, we see you. And the rest is history. I really enjoyed the Ballad of Ichabod Screamface.
Oh yeah. What do you think? Some weird B-sides.
If any of our listeners have listened yet to the B-side.
Some weird B-sides today.
Some surprising ones.
It gives me a lot of pleasure. This song seemed like the right one to do some like more like moody.
Yeah.
Slightly
Out of like not on the main road of Freezepop, like
Yeah.
side country winding roads.
Well, yeah, why don't you guys talk a little bit more about that, actually? I think one of the things that's been really fascinating is I've looked at the reviews, which have just been astoundingly nice about this record, and deservedly so, is because it does, Sean, you talked about this earlier, it walks on that line of kind of moody and danceable.
Did I talk about it earlier?
You did.
No, I don't remember that. Yeah, I mean, you always start this thing with big plans, and we had all these ideas of kind of what we wanted to do, and it sort of didn't exactly work. It never works quite the way you think it's going to, and you end up with something pretty different. I think the last 4 years have been really challenging for a lot of people, and that it was bound to happen that some of our music would reflect that a little bit, I think. And I think that's probably accounts for some of the slightly more moody ones that are sort of a bit out of time. I think Memory Disappears is one that's kind of not of its time, if that makes any sense. And maybe it doesn't, I don't know.
It's interesting. Sorry, this is like a little what's the word? It's interesting to think of like the art that comes out of this period of time and like how that will be digested years from now.
Yeah, totally.
Just in general, everyone's
Well,
affected.
yeah, that gets at one of the questions that one of your listeners submitted, which asks sort of, there's something about this moment, obviously, that's very memorable for all of us because it's this moment. But I guess the thing a lot of us have been doing is sort of thinking back, and Phil Lefkowitz asks, of all the shows you played, what's the most memorable? Which one stands out? Sean, we started by talking about that 07 PAX show because there was a gajillion people there. But are there shows that really stand out for y'all? I mean, individually and as a group?
Yes.
What was the show? The show we played at Sinclair with Party Boys. We have our local shows can be like, sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not. I think we get a little nervous at local shows, but we just completely destroyed at that Sinclair show with Party Boys. Who else was on that bill? I can't remember now.
With the Party Boys?
I think it was just
Yeah.
us.
it was just such a good, like, we were just so there, you know. It was great. That's probably one of my favorite musical shows we've ever done. I mean, we've had great times at all the, you know, like especially the older pack shows where they would just put all the kids into a giant box and let them fend for themselves. Now it's, you know, usually it's like more like theaters and stuff, and it's like you're 100 feet away from the audience, and it's kind of a bummer. But not a bummer, but it's just a different vibe. That first pack show, where you came out and introduced us, Gordon, was a very, very memorable show.
Oh, that's sweet.
I mean,
there was 4,000.
We had a couple of shows where we'd open for people, and we you know, we'd open for people and there'd been like 1,000 people, say, and that's, you know, that was a lot of people for us, but this was like a whole other level, and they knew all the words and they were so excited and they were just so psyched for us to come out. And yeah, I'll never forget that sound. It made my ears distort, the screaming. Remember when we first came out, like when you first said Freezepop, and there was just this distorting sound. It was crazy.
Oh,
that was probably the craziest moment of my life, actually.
Well, and the photos reflect it. I mean, the photos reflect it.
Oh, the photos are so epic.
Yeah, we'll have to make sure they're all posted later.
What's that doing? I mean, Robert John Bananas Foster, of course.
Someone requested to see a guitar. So
nice.
Just show one. Yeah.
Step Into the Sunshine is not inspired by the TV show True Blood. No.
Well, let me.
But I mean, it sounds like it's on theme.
Let me follow up real quick with Phil's other question, and
Sure.
Christmas may also be able to weigh in on this. Is what are your favorite Christmas songs, holiday songs, and still waiting for your cover of Christmas Rapping. Stay safe.
I'm still waiting for our cover of Christmas Rapping.
Well, the wait is shorter than it's ever been.
Fantastic.
I like all the carols from the 1700s and 1800s, and they're all like talk about Satan and everything, and I love that stuff, like God Rest You Merry Gentlemen and We Three Kings, and
Oh, that's a gem.
to save us all from Satan's power, and they're kind of
Talking
like
about like Ozzy Osbourne.
they're like the metal songs of their day, aren't they? Is it like those
They
are
were the metal stars of their day.
I
Okay,
love
so
Carol
first of
Bells,
all,
even though
my
one of our bands
favorite-
desecrated it. Sorry.
my favorite show was the one we played at the Mohawk in 2014 or 2015.
Oh, the
Oh, that was a
Beige
great
show. Yeah, I
That was a
love
great
that
show.
one too.
Wait, was that the beige show? No, I was wearing black at that show.
No,
Well, that was the
I
point.
was the only one wearing beige.
Oh, right.
I looked like
Yeah. We all
Star Trek.
we all
coordinated.
forgot to wear beige.
We all coordinated that we were gonna dress like extras in Star Trek: The Motion Picture, like all beige, like jumpsuit, lycra, and then
You can't just find one of those.
Bananas Foster was the only one who ended up doing it. But that show was great.
it was fun.
Wonderful Christmas Time is my favorite Christmas song. Come at me.
Oh, by Wings.
Essentially.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I actually got an argument with somebody online about that too.
Oh,
That's an
wow.
excellent song. That's an excellent song.
I've loved it since I was a child. It will never go out of style for me. I just love it.
What was Flipto Dipso's best show? I'd say San Francisco, probably.
Well, as
You're really on
So
fire.
Dipso
We had the whole team.
fan who has seen all of their shows. Yeah, probably San Francisco.
You're in
All-
Flipto Dipso's, like Spotify is like, you're in Flipto Dipso's top 0.0001% of fans.
we just got that question in the chat. I didn't make it up.
That's lovely.
No, it's in there.
You're welcome, Gerbert.
Yes, the guitar. Has
Oh,
anyone
go
played
back to
anyone?
the Christmas songs.
Back to the Christmas songs.
One is Santa's Coming Over by Low is like the creepiest fucking song. It's so good. Santa's Coming Over by Low. Look it up.
I have to plug a friend's project here. So I have a friend of mine who lives in Philly, and they do a ridiculous, like Weird Al of the holiday season meets Fire Sign Theater project called Merkel and the Merkelettes. And they have some like bangers. Like they have Highway to the Manger Zone, on which I play synth bass. They have what are some other like bangers?
Oh, we were gonna do Reindeer in the Dark by Dio.
Oh, they have Wrap It by Devo. Thank you for reminding me. Wrap that gift. Everyone will see your gift beneath the tree. It's great.
So we have two
Wow.
questions here, which is has anyone in the band ever dated anyone in the band? And then the following question is, will you ever do Emotions and Photons live? Which is a pretty interesting pairing of questions, actually.
Interesting.
We
I have
did
not dated anyone in the band.
We did it once when Casson was like here, like kind of like guesting with us.
No, he didn't. He didn't want to do it.
What? No, we totally. It's definitely happened once. It was played once. I think it was at Middle East Downstairs.
Huh.
I tend to trust your memory over mine. You have kind of an eerily like accurate memory for like every show that ever happened.
I'm weird because like I can remember our shows, but Sean has a really good memory for like seeing other shows and like remembering set lists. Like he can be like, oh yeah, we saw Duran Duran in like 2004 and they played this, and this. And I'm like, okay.
That's true. I can tell you 2 different Depeche
Guess
Mode
I
set
believe
lists from
that.
1993 right now. Oh, I'll just hold on to that stuff.
Emotions and Photons.
We've got another submitted question here from
Great.
Matthew. From Matthew Glidden.
Oh, we know Matthew. Hi,
You
Matthew.
know Matthew.
Yeah, we know Matthew.
You know,
for
he
being
says,
here,
I
Matthew."
remember. I remember Christmas did a song for MST3K a few years ago. Has she or Freezepop had more connection with their projects?
Funny you should ask.
Oh.
Yeah, we were involved with the Kickstarter. I mean, that started because I met Joel and was like, oh, when I was a child, I had a letter read on your show. And he was like, oh, okay, very good. And then like got in touch with me about the Kickstarter. I mean, he was super, super nice. He was just being gentle. And then Freezepop got pulled in a bit. And then Sean actually wrote some music for one of the live touring shows they did. I believe it was the second one, the one with the game show in one of the 2 different nights. It was like, there was some production value there. And then What else? I got to write for 2 episodes of season 12. That was ridiculous.
That's pretty awesome.
But yeah,
Whoa.
yeah, well, we're taking calls, you know.
Yeah.
I just received
Nice.
my MST ornament in the mail today.
Oh,
Oh,
Nerd alert. Yeah, it's like pretty nice.
Oh, wow.
Is that the planet?
Yes, it's and from the credits.
Nice.
And if you want to, if you want to chime back in, hey, what's up, Rick Webb?
Hello.
Webb.
Chime
Webb.
back
beautiful guy.
It's our record
How is
executive.
everybody?
if you want to, anybody wants to follow up on that Christmas Carol question, anything you want to get out there. I don't know. I don't feel like we fully engaged with.
Yeah, I'm not the authority. Everyone needs to have.
Yeah,
their-
but
we all
but
defer to
imagine,
your Christmas wisdom, Chris.
imagine you're used to being mistaken for one. What with the name and all. But
What
no,
with the
of course
name
you
and
are.
all.
We're all Christmas authorities. But are there any other songs we want to throw out?
That Partridge Family one's really good. You know what I'm talking about, Sean.
I don't.
You don't?
No.
I forget what it's called, but it's on the Partridge Family Christmas album.
Oh, I don't think I know that, actually. Which seems like a weird thing. It seems like I would know that.
Let's see if I can find it.
I'm more into the music of Sean Cassidy than David Cassidy, but I see where you're going with this. Rick Webb, how are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty
What's
good.
your favorite Christmas carol?
Rick Webb, how are you?
I'm good. My favorite Christmas carol is "Oh Holy Night," and I
that's a
listened
good
to a very.
That's got a
good
pretty
version of
baller
it
bridge.
today. Yeah. Somebody introduced me this week to an album called "Chestnuts Roasting on an Open Fire Walk with Me," which
Whoa.
is just all Christmas carols in the style of Twin Peaks music. It's by a guy named Jarek Bischoff.
That's fun.
It was fantastic, and it has "Oh Holy Night" on it. So.
Does Snowflakes Are Dancing count? It's not really a Christmas album, but
Is that
Tomita.
Yeah, it fucking counts.
It's got a nice winterish feel to it.
Sure, yeah.
That's a good one.
Okay. Well, let's
2009.
can we let's narrow our focus. Let's bring ourselves back to the music at hand, and we will do so by addressing Gage Bullock's question. Can you discuss the lyric writing process and inspirations for the record? And go ahead. Sorry.
Let's talk to Rick about that. From a label perspective, Rick, can you discuss the lyric writing?
Well, I will say one thing I've noticed is through the years, it's changed, right? Like early on, I think they were perhaps more autobiographical. Justin really was a bike thief after all. And then there's, you know, I think there was a middle period where perhaps you like went the way of Jeff Tweedy, where it was like influenced by alcohol, for example, like Brain Power.
Brain Power?
I very specifically remember you being very hammered inventing the concept of brain power.
There's story.
Jesse,
I'm not proud to say.
I think it's been a journey as a lyricist. Like, obviously I don't live there now, so I didn't witness this one firsthand, but I've definitely noticed an evolution.
If we were to cover a DM song, which one? Well, probably something off the first album. Oh yeah, we did Photographic.
Yeah.
We almost did Just Can't Get Enough.
Yeah, we almost played that live and then didn't do it.
I was so ready.
We'd probably do What's Your Name? Seth and I would sing.
Or Monument.
Oh, I would love to do Monument.
That's a real barn burner.
That is a barn burner. It's underrated. A lot of mood.
I was watching Willow the other day, and I noticed that one of the supporting characters is also in the Walking in My Shoes video.
Oh.
Characters. You might be the only human being on the planet besides that actor that knows this.
So where do I know that guy from? Walking in My Shoes video. All right, continue. Sorry.
Yeah, we'll do, but not tonight, Michael. We'll do that for you. Personal favorite.
But back to this, we didn't talk about the lyrics.
Yeah, I want to know now.
More. And because Gage pointed out that there's some quote brilliant lyrics in the songs, and says our solar system and Clockwise are some faves. So lean in on the lyrics, people. Lean in.
We outsource all that stuff. We have people come and write the lyrics. We don't really know about that. You'd have to talk to the songwriters.
You don't feel those feelings?
Roth. You know, talking about lyrics is you can back yourself into a corner because you don't want to upset somebody's interpretation of a song. I mean, I can kind of speak in generalities of the ones that I wrote, but it's for Freezepop, it's kind of like we always want to do musically and lyrically. You kind of want to go a little bit ahead of what's come before. You know, you want to go a little bit further, a little bit deeper, a little bit more in the direction that you've chosen. But I don't want to. I mean, some of the songs are pretty personal. Some of them are less so. It's Clockwise. I mean, it's kind of about the last four, not to define this period of time as the last 4 years, but the last 4 years, just like it's a lot of this record is focused on like the future and what the future could mean and what the future, this nebulous future could materialize, and should we have hope for that or should we not? You know, Clockwise is kind of that, I think, a little bit. Well, I don't want to ruin somebody's interpretation of it, though. You know?
One thing too, I think, like, correct me if I'm wrong, Sean, but like you guys write a lot of songs and then whittle them down for the album, right? And so in the whittling, like you choose based on the holistic best songs. So the ones
No, I wouldn't say so. I think we choose on the songs that hang together.
Yeah, that's what okay, yeah. So like that work together as an album, right? Yeah. But my point is like you write your lyrics in a lot of different ways. Right. So the ones that show up on the album don't necessarily have like a cohesive writing background because you're going for like an album.
They're all pretty, right. I mean, we'll write songs that are I'll start a song in the studio that just completely is like electronic, and then we'll like attempt to fit some lyrics into it, which is how Casson used to work, which is how the Duke worked. He would make tracks, and then Liz would write lyrics, or occasionally I would write lyrics, and we would give him lyrics and he would fit them to the tracks. I work better when I'm playing like guitar or piano and writing a song like that rather than on electronic stuff. Lyrics can come from anywhere. I mean, I think we're always kind of typing down like song titles and stuff. And we had several meetings after the Kickstarter where we just got together and talked about song titles for hours and hours and hours. It seems like quite a luxury now that we'd get together just to talk about song titles. But we had lists and lists and lists of just people writing down phrases and
yeah. I mean, that's like when I write lyrics, that's kind of like, it's always just kind of like a phrase that comes to me. And then I'm like, oh, I could build a song around that. And like, usually the phrase is like, something not necessarily biographical, but I'm like, oh yeah, I saw that. Like, for example, Heat Lightning. I saw Heat Lightning once. It was really cool. Does the song have anything to do with that? No.
That was awesome.
It was really cool.
Checks out.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's born of I'll stick up for you a little bit here. It's like, it's a process of, after all these years, you have ingrained in you the habit of knowing that you're going to be on the hook for a bunch of lyrics at some point, so to stop and remember these things and or write them down.
Yeah,
right.
And also I would say like a thing I've sort of learned over the years is that, like when I was writing the first album's lyrics, like I wasn't necessarily thinking like, I'm still going to be performing these 20 years later. I better make sure they're not stupid.
That's funny.
Oh my God. That's hilarious to think about.
Yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, like, because at the time I was like, ooh, fun space age robots, yay! And some of the songs hold up a little better than others. I'll just leave it at that.
I remember having a conversation with Casson in like, I don't know, it must have been right around the time we were about to do the Kickstarter, and I played him some demos, and he was like, oh, you guys should do more like kind of, like old school wacky stuff. And I think we kind of actually did try to do that a little bit. Like we were trying to come up with like slightly like crazier, wackier songs, and it just kind of didn't work. And you're not, and I was just like, I said to him, I was like, she's just not into it. She doesn't want to sing
like Hot
stupid
Air
lyrics.
Balloons is a really just like weird, out there, kind of messed up song. But it's like,
wait, which one?
Hot Air Balloons.
You kind of like absurd, scary horror movie silliness now, whereas in the past you were like kittens and a robot and da da da, and then like that was a lot of our fan base is like liked us because of this kind of thing, and then you 2 years later weren't into any of it. It's it was a little tricky.
I mean, I don't want to completely write off our early stuff, but like I said, like
no, I'm not saying that.
Aged better than other stuff.
Yeah, I mean I like most of it.
I do too. I do too.
That album is timeless, man. I love that album.
I'm looking at the titles, and I actually think most of the first album is pretty timeless. TDJ is very specific to Boston. Tracy Gold was already out of date, so that's a whole thing. But like the rest, like Hairbrained Scheme is timeless, Plastic Stars is timeless, Science Genius Girl is timeless, Ready to Rock is timeless, Tennis Boyfriend. But Tennis Boyfriend's a little, I guess that was of the moment, that whole Japanese.
Oh, I still love Tennis Boyfriend.
But it's still a great song, right?
That was vacation. That's probably my top 5.
Yeah, you know what? I think I'm really thinking of Robotron.
Yeah, but Robotron was already retro. I guess the Y2K thing of the Robotron 2000 part.
Well, that's what was so awesome about it. It was just like, this is a timely song about it.
I feel bad for Tricky a lot because Premillennial Tension's his best album, and
you guys want to see the puppy?
We relate.
It's too bad, man. Poor Tricky.
Oh, are we gonna see Nova?
Hold the fort. There's a puppy, everybody.
Oh, you're very heavy.
Oh boy.
You're getting very heavy.
I don't know. That's already barely a puppy.
Oh, jeez.
The thing's huge.
Yeah, you
Yeah, some people in the band dated.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, Jesus. This is our puppy.
Oh wow.
Anymore, man.
Aww. What a wiggle,
A tiny horse.
wiggly lady.
She's a little crazy right now.
Oh, you crazy?
She's a
Are
little
you
crazy.
crazy? Oh,
Oh, she's wagging her tail.
oh,
She's
she's so
normally very
shiny.
snuggly, but
She has that blush of youth.
she's teething like crazy right now. She's just like spitting out baby teeth left and right.
If any fans have any suggestions on what to do with like a few dog teeth,
Oh,
Oh, there's a new song right there.
Dog teeth.
So you have to talk about the video at some point, and that is the
yeah.
cutest dog. But while we're watching the dog snuggle, how did the video get going? What was the kind of the motivating kind of idea behind the whole thing?
Which
well,
one?
we had to do
The
it
new one?
outside because of
the one that premiered.
So
The
back
one
up.
that premiered.
I have questions because I talked to you all, but we didn't talk about the video.
No.
When did you shoot it? Who did you shoot it with? Like,
but-
start with the basics.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Oh.
It was
Alright.
it was shot in a few sessions. It was in early October. We had just finished the Fantasizer video, and I don't think it hadn't even come out yet. But while the weather was still reasonably good, Sean wanted to get together somewhere outdoors and shoot another video. Just lots of long, really simple, long takes of individual members, us like just looking rugged on the landscape. So
I never said rugged.
no, you didn't. You didn't. We just want to look really tough and outdoorsy. Was not something that was ever said. But we picked a spot that's kind of central to all of us, and we all met there. It's in a park. It's actually really close to where we shot the anchor video, and we shot it at magic hour, so we were losing the light. So it was shot very hastily. We had some equipment malfunctions.
Oh yeah, that was
Most of
exciting.
Most of it was shot on an iPhone, and then there are a couple of pickups done a few weeks later. So if you watch it very closely, you'll see that the leaves change in the middle of shots, which is kind of scary. But yeah, just because we shot in early October and mid-October. But basically we wanted that vibe of us standing around and that kind of VHS layer over it as the memory component, kind of that metaphor that this stuff gets erased, it doesn't last forever, even though you're trying to. And I think that's kind of the inspiration for the song is now that stuff is digitally recorded now, you think it lasts forever, but it all kind of goes away anyways. You think it's going to be pristine forever, but
Which is a great metaphor.
right.
Number one metaphor.
Somebody stop me when I say something totally incorrect. But we shot it in just a few quick sessions, and big thanks to Evilise, a cohort of Ichabod Scream Faces. She took almost every shot.
Evilise is a videographer now. Nice.
Yeah.
You didn't mean to be. Our camera broke immediately upon getting there.
And we're like, who has the best iPhone?
I was in the middle. I was gonna have a crazy meltdown, and then we were just like, no, we just got to keep shooting somehow.
That was good.
Yeah, we couldn't go back because it would have gotten dark. And then there's people walking by with their masks on and like, oh, I'm sorry. Everyone was so polite. Like they thought we were some professional film crew, and we're just like, no, we just came into this park and we don't have permits, and we're just shooting. I mean, we definitely had permits, but everyone was very nice and courteous, and there's still kind of that vibe of, oh, you're making a movie. Okay, I don't want to get in your way. So yeah, hopefully that answers the questions. It was just a really simple thing we wanted to shoot quickly and kind of work in that memory, your old recording devices of the past vibe.
I'm gonna address the chat real quick because they have some questions about just how this is working. We did ask for questions in the last couple of days, And so we were trying to get to some of those. We'll go back. We'll spend a little extra time and we'll do some of the questions that are in the chat. But people asked questions over the last couple of days on social media, so we're kind of hitting some of those before we do the ones on the YouTube chat. But we will get to some of those, I promise.
Yeah, keep us on pace, Gordon.
Yeah, all right.
This is painfully
Gordon
like
Merrick.
hanging out with us. Sorry, it's like it's everything's completely tangential.
What's the next question, Gordon Merrick, the first man ever to cover Freezepop?
Oh,
People know that.
That's true. That's actually true. Yeah, Liz and I did a very heartrending version of Summer Boy.
Yeah.
But well, I think I know. I think you should talk about the maxi single a little bit.
Right from the scoop.
Whoa!
Oh, I thought Casson was frozen.
Hey!
Oh!
Hey!
Can you guys hear me? Is it working?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can hear you.
Yay!
Awesome.
Hey!
Isn't that like a new TikTok thing where you like call somebody and you just don't do anything and it's like awkward and embarrassing?
Sounds like it.
Yeah, Rick knows all about it.
Hi, everybody.
Background.
Hey, man.
Yeah, that's a great background.
Thanks for popping in.
Hey,
good to
congrats
see
on the
you,
video
Casson.
and the release of the new maxi single. Great work.
Thank you.
Great work.
Thanks. Of equal importance.
Well, and that's exactly what I was trying to get y'all to talk about, which is talk about the maxi single a little bit, who you worked with, how you made the connections, what's going on with that.
Yeah, all the remixes. Tell us
The
about
Duke's
those.
here now.
too.
We can't talk about any of that garbage.
Oh, no. Dude, do it. I'm just lurking. Ignore me.
Yeah, the YouTube chat's lit up now. It's all Duke, the Duke.
The Duke has entered the chat.
Duke has entered the chat.
Duke,
The Duke, what's your favorite song off the first record? Then I'll talk about the maxi single.
Probably Tennessee No Boyfriendo.
Same.
I mean, Tender Lies is a very, I have a soft spot for that song.
Same.
Robotron is probably held up the worst.
You're just on point.
I suppose if I really thought about it, Plastic Stars is probably the best song on the first album, but we've played it so many times that it's kind of like sometimes I have a hard time kind of.
It's hard, man. A lot of those are times.
Remembering what it was like the first time you hear a song, you're like, holy shit.
It's UI.
Yeah.
But I felt like that about Tennis Boyfriend and Plastic Stars. It was really like, and Tennis Boyfriend is that amazing video, so that really.
Hairbrain Scheme is probably the most fun song to play live from that album, I think.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot
not for everybody in the band, but yeah.
Oh yeah, in case anybody didn't know, Rick Webb also directed the Tennis Boyfriend video.
That's right. Yay, Rick Webb.
That was a good one.
Also our early photographer.
I shot that photo on the cover.
All right.
On which cover?
Yeah.
On Freezepop Forever cover.
Oh yeah.
That's Tanya and Michael.
It's a real family reunion.
Talk about the maxi single.
Talk about the maxi single.
We had a few kind of B-sidey songs that were kicking around that were pretty weird. Memory Disappears seemed like a pretty unusual choice for a single for us. It's actually kind of the first time I think we've ever released a single that was kind of moody and a bit mid-tempo. Is it? I think maybe, unless you kind of count Swimming Pool. But that wasn't really our decision that ended up becoming a
that was a hit because of TV. That wasn't a single.
Yeah.
We never made a single of that. And same with
we had a bunch of, it seemed like this was a good opportunity to put some of the more kind of like absurd, strange. We've been talking a lot about like kind of the band, like the quirkiness factor of the band and like how that was at the beginning. And I feel like there is still that thread there, but now we're kind of more like David Lynchy quirky rather than like Robots and Cats quirky. I don't know, like it's all gotten kind of more absurd and strange rather than like
this one seems to have more of a mythology.
There's something it's grown in some weird way. And I don't know. It wasn't anything we expected.
And what about all the remixes? I haven't listened to it yet, which is rare for me, but I haven't actually. I bought it today. I actually purchased it.
Great job, Rick.
Well, there's this long all-day confusion about whether it was actually a Bandcamp Friday or not. I didn't realize it's every Friday now.
Of the maxi singles so far, this is probably my least favorite batch of remixes, which is not the best.
Tell me about the Mod Night remix, though. Of course, that
that's a cool one. That's Jesse pointed out. It sounds kind of like, or Liz. We're going to get people's names right. Pointed out that it sounds kind of like Pizzicato 5,
It's
which
very Pizzicato 5.
Yeah, that's a compliment for me.
So that's why it's called the Mod Night remix. It felt like evocative
it's like a soul beat. It's this song wasn't particularly, for me, it wasn't very fulfilling to remix just because of the tempo. I don't like exist at like 98 beats per minute very much. I actually have another remix that is actually better than anything on there that I just didn't finish in time. Maybe eventually that'll see the light of day. It was like a really good, almost like trip hoppy remix, but just wasn't really, I just couldn't finish it in time. How
about
it's a weird tempo for me.
Yeah, Andre Oben. Tell everybody about Andre Oben that doesn't.
Andre Oben is a great friend of ours who is a really talented writer and producer, and we've known him forever and ever. Got first saw him play live in like 2003 or something, 2004, when he was in Matters and Dunaway. Was that the band was called back then? Yeah, really good. And he actually took a really good tack for his remix, which is he just sped the song up, which I should have done that as well, but I didn't really think of it. I don't mess with tempos very much. I don't enjoy speeding things up and slowing them down. I like usually where the singer is landing on purpose. But I think he did a really good job of kind of finding a good sped. I mean, it's like 20 beats per minute faster than ours, and doesn't sound too artifacty. So he did a great job.
Well, that leads to the next question pretty well, which is what other sort of technological sort of changes and sort of differences did you find in the recording of this particular batch than maybe that didn't sort of exist in earlier stuff that y'all have done?
This is Andre Oben, just FYI.
Oh yeah.
Could you rephrase the question?
Yeah, were there any I mean, you were suggesting that there's tempo changes and there's tone changes. Were there technological changes as well?
Well, I'm kind of a person who does sort of thrive with new gadgets. And a lot of songs do come easily for me if I have kind of new crap in front of me. Speaking for myself, if I have like new
at that room.
yeah. Well, no, seriously, like a new synthesizer is like the most like inspiring possible thing for me. And that
most of the ones in that room now were not on you didn't have those when you made the album.
Oh, I had these two were actually the main synths that we've been using for about 5 years. The Prophet 6 and the OB6. Technology can be really helpful to get started. It can also be really detrimental. We were talking about Cassin's process on the first record before he actually popped in. Cassin, you do a lot of programming where you have you do a lot of music first, and then you kind of, at least in the Freezepop world, and then the lyrics and the melodies and everything kind of came afterwards, and you kind of blend it to what you already had. We started this record. We started with that process because I wanted to go back to the first album vibe a little bit, the kind of the wackiness of the production, the zaniness of it. But it just really didn't work once it came time to make songs out of it. You're a million times better at like putting funny lyrics to music that already exists. Like once it came time to actually like put lyrics to the instrumentals that we had, it was kind of like, these are not good. They're just better as instrumentals. I write better with generally with like, a really simple keyboard or a guitar, and technology can be really good, but it can also, for me, it can also cause a lot of delays. Like you can get really caught up in the technology and not so much the song, if that makes any sense. No? Anyone? Like it's easy to get bogged down in all the I have 95 software synthesizers making 75 different beeping sounds, and then you're like, oh, the lyric is bad.
Like what doesn't even
what do you have? It's like,
right. If you can't play it on a DX7 piano, then is it actually good?
Is it a good song?
Or a QY70. Nick, you still have one. If you can
get the thing across on the most egregious sound, then you can. But I like working that way. I like just programming songs from scratch and just kind of starting music that way. But I just think most of our successful songs from this whole bunch of sessions just were more traditional, I think.
Well, that actually kind of cues in on the follow-up question from that particular thread, which is Freezepop has now released 46 songs in 2020. How is this even possible? So, I mean, like, so in a lot of ways, for people in the midst of the
46.
46. So the question is, right, is for a lot of people, this isolation has been really stifling, right? And for a lot of people, it's been really productive. So I would imagine, given the number of people present, that it's been a mixture of responses for all of you. So I think that'd be interesting to talk about, seeing as, you know, you are releasing this in the middle of this experience. Like, how has that affected your ability to finish stuff?
I mean, 2020,
and that's open.
2020 has just been such a mind fuck in general.
But you kind of, I mean, in a way, this is going to sound very perverse with this album, Sean, but in a way you lucked out because you had actually gotten through the hump of this album mostly before the pandemic hit. Like, of the, what was it, Nick, 40 songs? Like, you had written most of those. Like, once you broke through the barrier of getting the album done, a lot of these are B-sides and stuff. You weren't cranking out a ton more new songs this year, right? Or at least these aren't them.
I can't stop laughing at Ice Cream Face eating his ice cream with the scoop. It's really something. You know, I mean, in terms of the numbers, you're talking about a lot of remixes, right?
Well, I'm not. This is just the question. I actually didn't do the math.
But
they did, and it's pretty. You're right. It's pretty impressive.
Well, you know, somebody did ask in the chat. My favorite audio compressor, the API 2500. Someone did ask earlier in the chat, like, if we waited to save for this album to save 2020. Well, no, of course we didn't. I didn't want to release it in 2020 at all. I wanted to wait until there was a vaccine and people were happy and normal. But we were like looking at being done in like the spring, and then it just seemed like, God, this is just the worst possible time to do anything artistic. So we kind of waited, which is good anyway. We weren't as done as we thought we were. But I think this year for me, it's been kind of in phases. Like, I'll have a really productive couple of weeks and then I won't. I don't know. It's really hard, you know. Like, I did have a particularly productive like April and May doing remixes.
Have you been writing new stuff this year?
Write any new stuff? Yeah. Then there's a new song on the EP that she did vocals for 3-4 days ago or something.
Yeah, last week.
There's a new song called Hauntology, which also kind of, that title actually kind of works in terms of Memory Disappears and all that stuff too. But we really recorded that a week ago, right?
So Hauntology was just finished in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, like Tuesday, Monday.
Wow.
Yeah. That's what's been actually doing singles has actually been really fun for me, because I'm really good on the clock. So if things are like, oh no, it has to be done like now, I'm like, duh, 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 duh. If it's like this nebulous, like, oh, it's like a year and a half away, then I'm like, okay, it's a year and a half away. I'll worry about it then.
I think albums in general are hard for people our age.
I don't think this album was even hard. It just took a long time. You know, it just did. I mean, I think I don't want to like, you know, I know some of the Kickstarter people started to get a little cranky about it, and it's like, well,
that's reasonable.
You can't really force it either. Like, yeah, it's totally reasonable. And also, what were we going to do? We did have a really bad version of the album that we could have released in like 2017, and we chose not to do.
Can we get that now as a bonus album?
Actually,
I did think about
I do like
Kickstarter people.
Well, it's going to have a second life. It's going to become another thing.
Well,
I would like
speaking
no, we're talking
of
about two different things.
Speaking of
about the yes from Heat Lightning Hot, which is Gordon Merrick.
Oh,
He's here.
Gordon Merrick.
Can you say it? Can you say it?
Yes.
Closer to the mic.
Yes.
Hey, can you do your whisper from Hypothetically?
No, I for money.
Just do it. Do it for us. Do it.
I don't. What do I say?
Say hypothetically.
Oh yeah, that's right. Hypothetically.
There it is.
One thing I want to know, and it seems that a lot of other people want to know as well from the questions I'm seeing, is really what's next for Freezepop?
We're gonna do singles and videos for the whole next year.
We're gonna remix into the new millennium.
Well, we can't play. We can't go on tour, so got to do something.
Yeah,
I mean, we're really kind of loosely planning ahead, like until like late summer, early fall.
I'm just asking the question, man. I'm not judging you.
Ice Cream Face is going to eat a lot of ice cream.
Ice Cream Face is killing it.
Second kind.
He's like the Christmas of ice cream. Guy really likes ice cream.
You look so blithe.
Yeah. I mean, that or everyone.
You can't tour, so you're doing singles, you're doing videos.
Yeah, I mean, it's just been fun to do. I mean, we're kind of talking about doing like every song.
One thing we also talked about a lot when we were in the process of like releasing this album was just talking about like, what does an album release look like in 2020? Like, what is an album in the context of like now? Like, it's just a collection on Spotify. Like, it's kind of weird, but I don't know. I think that allows you, like, we're all like old people, so we all really love to honor, I think, the tradition of what an album means and like how it's this kind of thing that stands on its own. But at the same time, I think it could be fun to experiment with like doing more EPs and singles and, you know, just kind of what we've been doing. It might not be, because part of what made this album so hard to like finish was like, it's an album, like this song needs to be with this song, it needs to be with this song. And like, I think if we'd been like, yeah, just put 3 songs out, like it would have been different.
Well, I think that's why the maxi singles have felt kind of more freeing.
Yeah, right.
Because we're just like winging it. Like, oh, here's some cool ideas. Let's get them out. You know. Ed, Francie, yes, we will play your birthday. Casson, do you have any music you're working on right now?
No.
Really?
It's great to see you.
I want to know more about your pandemic, Casson. We haven't talked since a Zoom about 3 or 4 months ago. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. I'm just working on this interactive music VR project.
We'll talk about that for a minute.
Basically, I made a way in Unity and VR to bring in multi-track audio from bands, and then you can interact with the audio in a 3-dimensional space, and it's like you're mixing the song live, but there's all this physics happening, which is also mixing the song. So if you do nothing, the Unity physics engine mixes the song for you. So it's an abstract experimental way of mixing music instead of sort of meticulously sitting in front of a DAW editing automation points one at a time.
You know, Casson, I was thinking of you. I was in a cyberpunk music conference on Discord this morning, as one does. And one of the questions was, what do you think is the future of music insofar as these kind of cyberpunk ethos is concerned? And I was thinking directly of your project, and I brought it up, and people, it seems that's people were very enthusiastic about it. So that's really neat you're working on. I can't wait to see it.
I've also grown bored with releasing albums. Like, I mean, I love the album. I still buy vinyl because it forces you to listen to songs in order and not pick up the needle and take in the experience. And that will never go away. But just putting digital music on Bandcamp or Spotify is so boring that for me, it's got to have some other component. Now it has to have a video game or a VR experience or, I don't know, something, I guess.
Well, which is a really good, it's a good segue too, because, I mean, I think at a certain point, how many followers did Freezepop have on MySpace?
50,000
at its peak.
It was like, it got up to 60,000 at one point.
And so you think about the degree to which the band has been defined by these like sort of technological interactions. It's really sort of fascinating. Like in some ways, this current moment suits what you've been doing all along. You've always been a disaster band.
Well, the
what? No. I mean, like, Freezepop music is the best music for terrible situations. It's perfect.
No, we
No,
have heard a lot.
Keep
we've heard-
going,
we've gotten
keep
a lot of
going,
feedback.
Gordon. Keep going. I'm liking where this is.
I get what you're saying. But I think the flip side of that is that they're actually a shockingly pleasant and good and fun and communal live band.
Absolutely, that's what I mean. You want to hang out with Freezepop when things are going south.
Oh yeah, well yeah.
Maybe
they are your robot friend from Robotron. Maybe Freezepop is the robot.
Well, and think also about music in 1999 and like sort of what people were trying to do and communicate at that point. Like nobody sounded quite like what Freezepop was trying to do, and it was perfect.
It definitely helped us stand out, especially in Boston.
Yeah,
especially in Boston, which has been historically such a kind of rock town, or it was. Yeah.
Yeah,
I found and DMX Crew and Ladytron.
Yeah,
there was not a lot.
I found Freezepop because I decided I was really into Electroclash, and that was like just a glorious 8 months of my life. But yeah, Freezepop really stood out for me because it was like, I don't know, there was just so much more complexity. It wasn't just like a performance art act. There was meat to it, like delicious blippy meat.
Well, and that's tying it back to Gordon. That's one of the things I feel like Gordon's original cover of Summer Girl. For those of you that don't know, there was a Summer Boy. There's an EP on Arch Enemy that Gordon Merrick did that he covered all the Arch Enemy bands. But the standout really was Summer Boy. He took all these songs that we were all doing and our rock or synth pop bands, and he just did them very simply on acoustic guitar.
Took all the life out of them.
No, it was the Summer Boy that really
but
stood
in a fun
out.
Way.
A lot of those songs on that first album, you could sit down and you could play them on an acoustic guitar. And they are great songs, and they are timeless, and
a few you could not.
Robotron would be really weird to play at a coffee shop open mic night, but that's probably the only one.
But we did do that once in Pittsburgh.
The rest of those songs
wasn't an open mic night.
Well-written, timeless songs. They really are.
Yeah, I think even from the very beginning, we were really like, the song was always the thing, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to speak for Casson, but I think everybody kind of had that as the final goal, The production was interesting. The production could be interesting and cool and funny and neat, but it was always about, having clever, good little fun pop songs.
Well, that's kind of, especially that first album.
It sounds like we're breaking up. All right, good night, everyone. We're breaking up. No,
that first album got a lot of people's ears because of the limitations on the production, right? Like Casson was using the QY70 and all that. But why it still resonates with people and why all the songs do through from then to now is the through angle is they're these great timeless songs. The songwriting is there in a way that like Ashley, I was very into the Electroclash scene, but can't say a lot of them were writing a lot of sophisticated, catchy songs that I remember 20 years later.
That's true. Well, we then had to tour with all those bands, where every time we'd go play in a new city, we'd be like, "Oh, hey, we're the Cum Muffins. This is our new song, Dick Mustache." And Dick Mustache, Dick Mustache. We heard Peaches once, Dick Mustache. And you'd be like, "Come on, why are we playing with these fucking clowns?"
At least there was the cocaine.
It absolutely was I remember we played a show in Downey in Los Angeles. Fuck, what the hell why were we there? Was it one of those
You were in Downey, California?
That's the Pink Eye Red Eye tour. I was there for that one.
Yeah, that was so fun.
One of the worst bands we've ever played with open for us, and we were like, "Oh my god, this is we gotta not ever use the term Electroclash in any of our press releases ever again."
We all got confused by that one good song by Golden Boy Miss Kitten. That song was awesome. That Mommy Can I Go and Kill Tonight. That song is timeless. You hear it now, you're still just like, that's a great song. That was the other great song of Electroclash, I think.
Well, Peaches was really good.
Peaches and Emerge.
Peaches was really good, and if you made a bad copy of Peaches, it was really bad.
Yeah.
And that was 90% of the bands we played with for like 2 years. They were like, I'm not going to do any more cussing.
Yeah, I heard Emerge the other day, and I was like, this song is still just so good.
Well, Emerge is fucking amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
that was a real game changer.
It's still so good.
Yeah, it sounds good too. No, I'm not counting Fisher Spooner among among the shitty electroclash bands.
Well,
I'm
what
not
did you
sure
say
how
it was
they were
called?
even really. I guess because it was sort of simplistic. But
It's a Dick Mustache.
I think we did play with a band called Dirty Sanchez, literally.
Oh, they had one good song or a couple.
Oh yeah, Miss Kitten, Felix the House Cat, all good stuff.
Actually, I think Dirty Sanchez were pretty good. They're also not who I'm talking about. They had like a fun stage show, but
Yeah.
we definitely played with a lot of like bands that copied Dirty Sanchez, like those bands. They're like, oh, come on, no.
Well, yeah,
Well-
I mean, right, yeah, we're not, yeah.
We're running the drum machine through 6 distortion pedals and screaming about pussy. It's like, all right.
Well, to clarify,
you're
like
not
there were,
peaches. You're not
right,
peaches.
there were great bands in that movement, but like when you're touring, you're playing with the bands that wanted to be them in random towns that never made it. And it's like,
Well, here's another question.
You're not dissing the genre.
Sean, here's another question that came in, was the one about the video. Back to that, seeing as that's what started a lot of this, was how, I mean, obviously the pandemic has changed the way you make videos, but let's talk about your relationship as a band to your videos over the years. We talked about Rick's contribution,
we don't have to do that.
Yeah, we do.
I think it's,
Yeah,
We have to have that conversation.
yeah, we do.
no, I will start it because the first several videos were Sean and I making them randomly, right? Like I think Tender Lies is the first video, right? Like you shot it and we edited it on my like Mac G3 because
I remember it was amazing because you had a 3-chip camera.
yeah,
And it was,
right.
You got it off like Japanese eBay, and we didn't know how to fucking use the thing.
And we basically
3-chip
were like,
cameras.
oh hey, let's make a video tonight.
Yeah, we bought
And we
a
called people up and said, hey, want to come over and be in our video? And then
right. So we bought we got the first mini DV 3-chip camera, but we didn't have any money, so we had to order the Japanese version off of eBay, and all the menus were in Japanese.
Right.
Which and so we kind of figured out how to use it, and that was the Tender Lies video. Jesse called her friends. Sean shot it. It was super fun, a lot of sexy girls, and then we edited it on a Mac G3. And then, but that gave us enough confidence that we did the Tennis Boyfriend video that you see behind Casson, same camera. We were
I love
like,
that video.
we got the manual translated, or we got a copy. I think we Xeroxed somebody else's manual. I think Tony got one. We Xeroxed the manual, so I understood how to like get through the menus. And then we shot that video at the park across the street from your old house, the Tennis Boyfriend video. And like then what was the next video? But I was looking today because
We didn't make another video until Anchor to the World Below.
No, that's not true, because when I had Barbarian, we shot the Ready to Rock video for you.
I think actually our videos have always been
Let's talk
a pretty good snippet of the moment.
It was.
I mean,
less
like I
talk,
think
right?
like if you like Tennis Boyfriend and Tender
Yeah,
Lies
that's
were,
what
like,
I'm getting at, right?
those are exactly how we were doing the music. Like we were hanging at, people were hanging at their house, and then they're making a little thing, and then there's a little thing.
All of the videos have
All
generally
along,
been.
it's been pretty equivalent to how we've been making the music.
Yeah, what'd you say,
And
Cassie?
Liz made the animated videos
Yeah, right. In Flash.
in Flash.
Yeah,
those
they were
are
all
great.
videos that were accessible to humans. We made them with like their consumer level stuff. Like they're things you could do. That is a throughput, and they get better in quality because consumer level stuff gets better in quality.
Well,
Okay,
I think that's what.
interrupt a minute because there's questions on the chat around our chapsticks, and I would really love to do a chapstick again. But like I tried to find the lady who made our custom chapsticks, and she like doesn't do it anymore. So
So if anyone has a line on,
No, those are real
if I
mice.
could, like
Those are
make
real mice
custom
kids.
chapsticks in large
No
quantities.
CGI.
I got 4
Those
if you
were-
got some money.
I have
Well,
some
you know
up
that-
here actually because I have my old desk. I have
Gaston in the chat, they're asking for
I
a
have
Shark
the
Attack video.
Panacoken
Can we do that
flavor.
retroactively?
Oh yeah, do that.
I have the mint.
Oh, this is the shark. This is the Shark Attack video.
this is it.
I have
That was
the
perfect.
pink grapefruit flavor.
Oh my god, you have all the flavors still?
Whoa.
No, I just have. Oh no, wait! I have more in here. I have grape.
Tamarind
Oh,
Surprise,
save me
which
that
we never
one.
released.
Have another grape. I think that's all
Save
I
me
have.
that one.
Do you have the Panacocan flavored one?
Yeah.
You hadn't even gone on your Panacocan kick before that, had you?
No, we totally did.
Really?
They're
It was
all
kinda
like,
like
really rancid now.
Was it just
I
like
would
maple
never-
syrup and butter, kind of?
Packaging.
You don't want to use them now, but
Ed, look, just search for Flipto Dipso on YouTube, and you'll find a couple of great moments.
yeah.
Hey, Jesse. Hey, Liz.
Yes?
Every time a
talk
band
a-
cancels. No, sorry.
Talk a little bit about the kind of your DIY side of it. I mean, you've run so much of this outfit for so long, you know, and I was thinking about how many wonderful little Freezepop bits of merch show up in our house at any given moment. And so talk a little bit about what it's been like kind of having to sort of run that all this time. I mean, like, you know,
I mean,
yeah.
obviously it's a lot less DIY than it used to be. Like, you know, back in the day, I was like printing out the transfers and doing like the little heat press thing. But, you know, now we have like a company that actually silk screens our stuff, which is, you know, much better. But yeah, I mean, I think a lot of our merch kind of started out as like, oh, what can I like DIY up, just because, you know, like our fan base was like, you know, 10 people at the time. So you didn't have to like make large quantities, and it was just, you know. But yeah, I mean, over the years, I mean, the thing is, you know, I'm a designer. You know, that's sort of like my day job. So that's sort of like the fun part of it for me, really, is just kind of, you know, getting to do like the merch and the album covers and stuff like that.
Been like 20, how many years now that you've been designing this stuff and coming up with interesting new merch? It's kind of amazing.
It's, I mean, it's certainly a challenge sometimes, just kind of being like, what, because it's like this whole weird, like what will look good on a shirt and also be sort of like, you know, obviously like there's a lot of just technical considerations in terms of like limiting the amount of colors, and just it's like a different part of my brain. So
if there's one shirt of all the 100+ different designs you've made through the years, if there was one you could redo or you would reissue, which one would you do?
Onion Smag.
I kind of like the Bloody Keytar shirt. The thing is, like, we can reissue them on like Redbubble, or like, you know, like they do like the print on demand kind of stuff, but it's not always feasible in terms of like there are some sort of technical constraints in terms of like line weights and stuff. So I don't think we've been able to do the Bloody Keytar shirt just because of like the fingerprints, just because it's like a super crazy involved file.
So that was an actual silk screen, that one?
Yeah.
So if you were to do that one again, it would have to be like old school
It would
silk
have to
screen.
be, yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, I should look into it again because it's been several years since I looked into it, and it might be better at some things. But yeah,
Hey,
I
sorry
would
to
say
interrupt,
Bloody
but
Keytar shirt.
I have to leave. So I wanted to say bye to
Oh
everybody.
no!
Thank you so much for popping in, man. It was great
Thank
to
you
see
for
you.
having me. All right, have fun. Congrats on your single and video.
Thank you.
Bye,
Bye.
Gasson.
Bye, Gazin.
Bye, man. Miss you. Talk to
Stay
you soon.
sharky, baby.
Oh.
Oh
Jack.
shit! Now there's like 10 questions for Cass and we didn't ask him from the chat, isn't there?
Oh.
Well, we'll just make up the answers.
Yeah, we know him pretty well.
I don't know that I know the Plastic Stars music video.
It's like a fan made one.
Oh.
I've seen it before. It's nice.
We should ask that person if we can just call it the official one.
So do
We
you
should
think
go through and find all the best fan videos and then just ask the people if we can just call it the official video and put it on our page.
Well, yeah, talk about fan videos a little bit. I mean, you've always had such a good relationship with your fans, and I think I have a picture of somewhere of Liz signing someone's stomach, and I think that, you know, and
Stomach.
well, and more besides, but you know,
I
in
signed
the
somebody's bald head once. That was kind of fun.
in the absence of the usual interaction at shows and stuff, what's it been like, kind of, you know, interacting with fans in the midst of all this isolation?
Well,
I
we
mean, I
haven't
certainly
been.
miss playing shows.
What's that?
I really miss playing shows.
Well, no, I was thinking not so much that obviously, but how has your interaction with fans sort of happened in the midst of this? I mean, obviously, just like events like this one, I guess.
Yeah,
well, we haven't really done anything until today. I mean, we're pretty active on social media, but we haven't done anything like this. We should do another one of these where we actually just pay more attention to the chat, because I think people are a little bit frustrated that we haven't gotten some of these questions too. But
yeah, sorry if you're asking.
We should do we'll do another one of these in like January and try to be better at the YouTube part of it. Maybe if we have time. We're pretty active on social, but I don't know that we've been really interacting with people outside of that. Really, I don't know.
Well, we haven't been interacting with anybody.
Well,
Exactly.
Whoa.
We're interacting with you the same way we interact with everyone.
Well, why don't you answer some of their questions now in the time that's left? If you got them, I don't have the YouTube page in front of me, so I can't read them to you. So get going, Sean.
I'm looking.
It's like pretty far back now.
Let's
Do
see.
you plan on releasing older music on vinyl? Fancy Ultra Fresh would be amazing on vinyl. It's definitely in. We're definitely talking about a lot of vinyl. It's probably more than a year away.
Yeah,
in terms of
our
us just
to-do
being
list
able
is
to
very
organize
full
it.
right now. There's
Where
like
did the
a whole,
idea?
list of stuff that we want to get around to.
We could do that. That'd be
I
fun.
mean, we should, yeah. Well, now Bandcamp does a thing where you can, it's sort of on Kickstarter-ish style where, if you get enough pledges, then they make the vinyl and like handle all the logistics and stuff, which sounds pretty nice because.
Trying to, I don't know, it's just kind of tricky to get to these questions. A lot of nice things about front load. Thanks. That's a nice one.
Hey.
I thought front load was going to be bigger. Yeah, I thought front load was also going to be bigger.
Someone asked, what made you want to re-record Front Load? Is Front Load forever? Or
front load was like so much the opposite of the first album that it seemed like the funniest one to do over with the QI because it was so far apart. This big like piano stomping thing, like the album version anyway. So it seemed like the most fun one to do with the QI because it was so far away from that world. But I really like that version actually. I like Front Load Forever. When this is over, I want to plan a boat cruise. Probably not.
What? No way, man. Boat cruises are awesome.
The boat cruise, I guess.
Yeah, you know what we should do is just book the Pollen Storm cruise and then reserve a bunch of tickets and just kind of take it over and just throw them the whole time.
Oh, kick them off to throw them off the back.
Yeah.
I wish y'all would come to Buffalo whenever this crap clears up. We'll come if Gordon Merrick comes with us.
Yeah, Gordon Merrick.
I want to go back to Buffalo. I want to go to AmVets.
Where'd Gordon Merrick go? We lost Gordon Merrick.
There he is. So a little backstory. Jesse and I Liz and Gordon and I all lived together before Gordon moved off to Buffalo. And then we would go visit him in Buffalo for years and years and years. We are all deep, deep fans of that place.
It is a wonderful city. It's been so nice to see it have such a renaissance. Certainly the riverfront's really up and running, but Buffalo's music and art scene is unparalleled. It's parallel, but it's really good.
Of the restoration committee for the Buffalo and Union and Central Railroad. I used to donate to that restoration.
Oh, I went in there. They had like a polka fest in there one time when I was there. It was amazing. Just the whole lobby was like 4 different polka stages in each corner. And
wow, you mean in the old train station?
Yes. And then just beer and brats.
I love that train station.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, when we were there, it hadn't been developed yet. And you could still climb around in it. But the problem is it had an open elevator shaft. And so no matter the higher up you went in the building, the more likely you would die. So it was pretty amazing. It was like Buffalo in general, really.
Ruin porn.
Yeah, very much so. But now it seems to be getting its act together, which is, I mean, it's always had its act together. It just seems that the real estate is matching the people, and it's nice. It's a beautiful city.
That's good though.
What's that?
I said, I bet the thrift shopping isn't as good though.
No. And what's weird is a lot of that stuff we used to get back then has like fallen apart. Like it's like the sea is like it's just sort of melting. Those old clothes are falling into pieces.
To the person that said we need an HD remaster of Less Talk More Rock, there is a maybe 50% chance that's doable. I do have all the raw footage. I think we shot it in HD. It's not inconceivable. I will investigate.
It's like remastering Deep Space Nine. It may or may not be doable.
Yeah, I mean, I got the time on my hands, so it's not completely impossible. But,
I finished Deep Space Nine.
Your question has inspired me to go see if it's doable.
I did it.
Oh, you did? Wasn't the last 5 episodes amazing?
Yes and no. Sorry, I just like take such issue with the whole like just cockamamie like Ezri Dax. They're just like, just do something with this character.
Oh yeah, poor Ezri
Dax. So much time wasted, but the rest of it is freaking amazing. Yes,
and it was one of the first sort of series that had one of these long multi-episode arcs.
Yeah, absolutely. It was really quite good.
It was bananas.
Also, I loved everyone's little sepia tone moment at the end.
Bananas was the one that told me to get into that about 10 years ago, so we've kept it in the family.
He's trying to get me to watch Voyager next, but I'm not. I can't.
Voyager is going through a bit of a renaissance these days. People are starting to respect it more.
Yeah, where else are you gonna go? I mean, I guess you could watch Discovery now, but.
And Lower Decks is kind of fun.
Yeah. Lower Decks I want to check out. Yeah. Well, I heard Tig Notaro has like a weird cameo in Discovery. So I'm like,
she does, yeah.
Oh, she's a character.
Yeah, she's good.
Not really a cameo.
Or yeah, I don't know. I don't know the context.
All right.
Oh yes, people are talking about DS9 now. This is great.
Gotta go.
Kids, we got to wrap up here pretty soon. Actually, I got to set up to do this DJ thing at 10 on Twitch.
Woohoo!
Woo!
Oh, shameless plug.
Many American synth bands, synth-driven less and less in Europe, except in Germany, like Solar, Fake, Freezepop is more near of Magnetic Fields, period, Smoke and Mirrors, or Soviet US band. Well, we've played with Soviet. We're good friends with Magnetic Fields, so that actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that is all very contemporary. Soviet. Should I tell him?
Tell me. I don't know what the deal is with Soviet.
Jesse knows.
I know.
What?
No, we shouldn't do it.
No,
yeah, I don't want to.
I believe, and I will take full responsibility, that the band Soviet are the people that stole my bedhead.
Oh, really?
Yes, absolutely.
What, you didn't know that?
From the song After Party.
Yeah, you knew that, Sean.
Song After Party.
The theory.
The thieves of the bedhead. J'accuse Soviet. J'accuse.
No, I had no idea.
And there was a CD missing.
Shadows.
They stayed over. They stayed over after the show. You guys played together.
We did have a party.
And we had a party.
I think it might have been one of the party guests.
That is the thing. The party makes it plausible deniability on behalf of the band Soviet.
I don't think Soviet stayed with us.
But the rest of the people at the party did not have hair like I did, and like Soviet.
Bedhead was really gone.
That required bedhead, and the bedhead was gone, and it was really expensive, and I didn't have any money at the time.
But I mean,
it was expensive, wasn't it? It was like $16 or some shit. We were like, where the fuck did we get $16?
That's the best lyrics.
Here's the thing. Historically speaking, we had parties.
Bedhead was a styling product. They're asking.
I know.
Bedhead was a styling product. It was called Bedhead. It was like a goop.
Yeah,
it was great. It was expensive.
It was the first goop for dudes that needed like some volume in their hair, and it was really expensive. And Sean and I were splitting it. It was like near $20.
Were we splitting it?
We were splitting it.
I don't know. We were both using it. It was. We'll get into that later. But
can I come?
I didn't accuse Soviet.
For context, that was 10% of our rent.
So
yeah, yes. In the long run, it's probably paying for itself. But I believe Soviet took the bedhead.
I think After Party is one of our best opening songs.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
It's a great opening song.
Yeah.
It always feels just awesome to come out to that one. Yeah. Maybe something to think about for our next show, which by the way, I wrote a set list for.
I think we just broke news with Soviet accusation.
I don't think that's news. I didn't accuse them of that.
I have nothing to do with this accusation. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt.
Whoa. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Laura,
Can you hear my dog making dinosaur noises?
Yeah. There was also a compact disc stolen during that party. It was like
the original mix of Moons of Jupiter will be released, but it's not out yet. Sorry.
Maybe. Okay.
people are also asking what's our Twitch for when we hop over
It's
there.
Freezepop Band, right? Or Freezepop Music? What is it?
I think
Hold
it's
on a second.
Freezepop Band. Wait.
Hold on.
I'll get the link and then I'll put it into the thing.
It's Freezepop Band.
Freezepop Band.
Yeah.
Freezepop Band Twitch, yeah.
Not Freezepop.
Yeah, we really gotta. I'm probably gonna be like 5 minutes late just because I gotta get set up. So bear with me.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, yeah, just look on like our social medias and there will be a link in there.
Did we put it on here? Here, hold on a second. I'll link it in here.
Yeah.
Should we drop off here?
No, yeah, well, hold on. Yeah, let me get this link to the nice folks.
Oh, I see.
Where did you go? Oh, you guys, it's been a pleasure.
Oh, I found the link. I'm putting it in the chat.
Oh, I just did it too.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
someone's asking if they can buy the original Science Genius Girl.
The original
original
version of
version?
Science Genius Girl. What is the original version of Science Genius Girl?
Not the album version.
Oh, the blue, the orange,
blue-
and purple EP, orange and purple EP version, right?
Yeah.
We'll send it to you. Just send us a message.
Is that
Have you not put the original EPs on Spotify, Jesse?
No.
No.
well? I think it's on like Bandcamp, maybe. I don't know. It's so hard to keep track of all these versions of everything.
It's true.
It's very hard. There are so many versions.
Yes, Dylan. Christmas is a big D&D player.
Mm-hmm.
Big.
Marolium.
I just started. Yeah. Well,
And bananas actually. And bananas. You guys are in the same game where you were for a while, right?
All right, you guys. My dog needs to pee. I gotta go.
The original version is on the full complete discography, so you could get it there.
Thanks, Rick.
And thanks to everyone.
Thank you so much, Gordon Merrick, for trying to corral us. It's
Thank you,
not
Gordon.
always a thing that can be done.
It's couldn't be happier being around such a good group of people and who have
Thank you
made
so
such
much.
excellent music. So
Hey, Gordon, can you say yes for us one more time?
yes.
Yeah, good. All right.
But
On that positive note,
Thank y'all.
Look,
like Yoko
had
Ono
your
and John
fam.
Lennon.
Dance with us on the Twitches.
Yeah, we'll be
Yes.
over on Twitch in just a minute. Maybe like
On
15 minutes.
Twitch.
Yeah, Twitch.
Freezepop
Hang out.
Band.
We'll be there soon.